Hey Brad, what you got going today?
Hey Scott. Hey Scott. Welcome everybody. My name is Brad Williams, one of the managing partners here at Trade Ideas. We are here for our weekly Wednesday QA webinar. I'm just going to talk about our product, talk about some of the newer features, functionality that's in the product that we've recently put in our latest beta, and answer any questions that you guys may have. I like to keep it interactive, so please feel free to use your question panel to ask some questions and direct me in any type of direction you want to go. If I don't get any questions through there, I'll just kind of run through a little product demonstration like that. So let's start off with the presentation here. It's a real brief one. Just a quick disclaimer, guys, we are not a registered investment advisor, so please don't take, let me, you know what, before I do this, I need to disconnect from a program here because it's gonna cause all kinds of messaging throughout, so. Okay, we'll get right back to this. So again, we're not an investment advisor. We're a technology provider. So any of the symbol stocks that I talk about today, please don't construe that as investment advice. I'm just going to be talking about some of the great ideas that Trade Ideas identifies throughout the trading day in real time. All right, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the presentation. I'm going to really just kind of drop right into the software. I'll work pretty much in the application. But suffice it to say, we are a premier idea generation technology provider. If you're looking for stocks to trade in the market, you need to have Trade Ideas sitting next to you. You need to have it delivering these real-time ideas so that you can spot these incredible movers. I mean, in the last couple of days, there have been stocks that have been moving 100%, 200%, just crazy, crazy percentages. And this is the type of activity and action that you can be presented with in real time and giving you the opportunity to participate along the way. So exciting stuff is happening in the market. Trade Ideas, you know, that's all we do. For 16, well, going on 17 years next month, well, actually this month, November, yeah, we just flipped over. So 17 years we've been doing nothing but developing this technology. It's really just been a platform that's grown with us over that time period. We started off with one component window, the alert window, and we've really developed this into really a cockpit fighter pilot type display where, you know, we're presenting ideas in real time, you know, hitting you with them. And, you know, you sit here and you have to make decisions on what you don't want to participate in. You know, we started off with just a piece of clay where we created an alert window, new highs and new lows, but we've, through the years, developed this into a full idea generation platform. You can use as little of the platform as you'd like or as much of it as you'd like. And I'll attempt to kind of show you all the stuff we've been working on for all that time here.
Back, by the way, good buddy.
I didn't even know you were gone there, buddy boy.
Don't mind. Come on.
All right, well, that's Dan. Dan's our CEO. He's going to join us here. He'll provide some color commentary along the way. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of fling through this application and get right into or fling through the PowerPoint and get right into the application so I can show you the software.
Can I ask a quick question? Because I wasn't here I missed the session. Is it mostly people who have a subscription, or what's the breakdown?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. Scott, can you kind of refresh me on that? I wasn't able to
55% subscribers, 45 non.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the most part, we have some mostly subscribers here, but a good chunk of people
that's
that
great.
are
That's
doing
great.
it.
What did you mention the title of the Q&A webinar was How to Trade Ideas and Chill?
Buddy, I haven't gotten there yet. Talked about some of the stuff that we've been working on, and incorporate in that is really the channel bar. We spent a lot of time freshening that up, updating the spaces that, you know, the Trade Ideas windows inside of each of those workspaces, making them more valid and more interesting for you. So yeah, right here, this is the application. We have this available on the web, so functionality exists. You can transition between our toolbar is over on the whole to the market. You to really get started, it's something that you could earn advice to change and spotting them depending upon what channel and what theme. It's going to be cycling through my different my awareness, and I think to you, we're really trying to deliver. So we started from the pre-market channel here has a bunch. It's a multivariant sorting techniques and various the data, and it brings it right to the top of your awareness. So you can just kind of peruse, just like on, you know, a remote control, you can go up and down through the channels. It's earnings season right now, so there are a lot of great market movers that would appear right here in this particular channel. We're really focusing on stocks that have earnings today or recent earnings or something that may be reporting tomorrow in this particular channel here, but it's one of the filters inside of Trade Ideas. It's one of the data points that you can use to build any type of window. So you can create a window that's looking for a particular type of market activity, but then you can further refine it and say, I only want to see that action when the stock is going to be having earnings this week or earnings tomorrow or earnings today. So you can get really that specific with it. Hey, Dan, will you take over for just a sec? I need to grab some water. My mouth is completely drying up right here.
Sure, my friend. I'm going to switch. Brad, will you let me share my screen, or do you want me to just talk about what we're seeing on yours?
I'm sorry, I stepped out. I had to grab something there. What's that?
I said, do you want me to share my screen?
No, you don't need to do that. I just thought you could kind of fill the air with something, you know.
Well,
but.
Okay. Are you done, or you want me to?
Go ahead. Well, now that yeah, I'm done, but you can talk.
Yeah. So guys, again, Dan Merkin here, CEO. We've been doing a large amount of work on this channel bar, making it easier for you to see the data. And Brad, let me ask you something. Didn't we change the coloring on this one? Do you see like on the, I feel like maybe you need to upgrade your channel bar.
Yeah, no, I think that we just had a ton of stocks here that have moved up quite a bit. I need to just change the, what I need to do is change the scaling, because what you see here, when you look at the change from the close, this percentage, I mean, this is the type of market movement that's happening right now during this earnings season. There are stocks that are, you know, if you pull up the CNST, this isn't even
pause this.
Of it during the day.
Stay right here, Brad. That's all. Blow that up for people. Okay, so yesterday, CNST was a long entry signal for us on the AI for people that use this. This is what we're all about. It's the fact that we're trying to algorithmically, through quantitative processing that you can do at home, find the footprints of potential upside. Brad, is that a mouthful or what?
Well, I mean, it's really true, and this is really indicative of a lot of the AI calls, a lot of the artificial intelligence calls. You know, it's really meant to be positive and profitable that day, but it's spotting market footprints. It's spotting things that are happening with that stock that's very, very difficult for the human eye to see. But you know, it spotted something yesterday. It didn't really come to full fruition, but it's really highlighting this particular stock, bringing it to your awareness, giving you the opportunity to use other tools that we have in the system. Things like price alerts, the ability to set notifications when something crosses a threshold, the ability to take AI signals, drop them into a watch list, into a symbol list for the last week. And then anytime those symbols start to light up for the day, then you're going to be alerted to it. Put in a new high alert, something super simple with a little watch list. And, you know, none of this will get by you. And that's really kind of what we specialize in.
So Brad, let me point something out here too, because again, I kind of want to talk to the, well, let's do this first. Okay, so as we're telling you, we changed a lot of the channels. Why are you here? You're here for CNST. I mean, all you have to do is see what it is. The fact that we're in the business of trying to find them here, we prove to you that we can do it at least one time. Because again, Brad, right? We can't Photoshop this. This is
well, we can Photoshop, but this is not Photoshop. This is real. And it's not just an outlier. This happens all the time. Well, not this kind of crazy move, but
we're the only vendor that has signals that they keep track of and report the end result. And that's another big differentiating factor of us. And the game is, and you can call it a game from that point of view, Brad, but the game is the CNSTs, right? It's the fact that in the, and I've said this many a Q&A webinar, many, and today could be the best one ever, as you know, Brad.
Even though you're a little late, yeah, it could be.
But ladies and gentlemen, please understand this. Why are you here? Okay, let this beautiful stock, CNST, Constellation Pharmaceuticals, explain it to you. You are here because unless you are working, you know, at the Donald Trump, Sam Zell level in real estate, you're not going to be making those 75% on anything. Okay, it just doesn't happen. Bitcoin is not going to be moving 75%. Okay, you're not going to make a 75% move in some futures or whatever. It's in the good old-fashioned, curing the cancer, biotechnology, and then there's other stuff too, of course. Earnings blowouts all over the place. Stock market. You're in the stock market. Okay, this is why you're here. 1987, the crash, and Gordon Gekko. These people were about making some serious money, and the proof is in the pudding. You can go here and you can find in the stock market's the only place you're going to find where there are actually 75% winners. Brett, probably every day?
Every day. I mean, probably every day, yeah. You could certainly get into some of these lower price stocks, and we look at those too. We really don't discriminate on what stocks we look at, but that was a nice call just a couple days ago on the 31st of October, at $1.35. So.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, please, that this isn't about like that illiquid stuff. This is about really you taking advantage. You can see this stock, another pharmaceutical stock. Brad, could you go real quick right back to GRX? Notice the volume, 32 million shares. That means that you can jump in and out with a couple thousand, no problem. I mean, Brad, am I right?
Absolutely, and this little metric down below, this 7 right here, tells you that you don't need to know 32 million compared to what, but the average, this is 7 times more than normal. So we try to keep it pretty simple, but it's a really really valuable piece of data to have.
Yeah, and I think we're one of the only ones that has it. So that's another kind of cool thing.
I mean, you can tell these guys here, these big up movers for the week, the volume that's cooking through those, and volume is a big catalyst. And so we're monitoring that along with price action, all these data points, and we take these normal data points and we create new ones along the way, things that make it interesting and allow us to shape this data in these different ways, formats that I'm showing you here through the channel bar.
Brad, do me a favor and bring up the Trade Ideas homepage real quick. And bring it kind of towards the middle where we talk about what's coming up. So ladies and gentlemen, important for you guys to understand that one of the things that we're bringing to market is this innovative way that we see to facilitate the real proper teaching feeling of what happens when you're speculating in the stock market. We're now launching simulated trading, and Brad will show you. Brad, bring up like in the background, a Brokerage Plus window so that people will be able to see what it is. But you will be able to compete with other Trade Ideas subscribers and win prizes like cash. So you're kind of seeing the gamification of portfolio, but I mean a simulated draft, simulated portfolio. It's very similar to sports betting. I would say the next is a thing to compare to like FanDuel or DraftKings. But here you'll get to compete in trading tournaments for P&L in paper trading so that you can be rewarded for doing the proper behavior. Teach yourself that you can actually get something positive out of the learning process, but yet at the same time, never risk real cash. So we're so excited to bring that to fruition. You can download this at our beta. I believe that's the one.
Yeah, this is available in the beta off the website.
So you get to experience what P&L feels like. You get to see real investors use, like being able to reverse a trade or to double down on a trade and really take advantage. We've got the user interface to take advantage of zero commissions, because you can start with 10 trades, 10 trades, I'm sorry, Brad. You can start with 10 shares and double down. Now you got 20. Now you got 40.
Nice. It's another unique way with the order entry panel. It's a pretty simplified way to put an order out there. And by the way, this is our paper trading, but it also works with live trading currently with interactive brokers. So if you have an IB account, you could use Brokerage Plus, not only in paper trading, but in live trading. So they do work in tandem with each other, but you can put your orders out in dollars or in shares. So this right here, if I wanted to trade and buy $5,000 worth of this particular stock, if it was during the market hours, I could do a market order and it would calculate the share quantity at that price and execute that order for me. You know, everything's linked. So if you just click on a symbol, you're always ready to make a trade. You can either do it from Brokerage Plus, the order entry panel, or you can do it right from a right-click menu here. The right-click menu, the first option is your trade option, and you can customize each one of these these order types, if you will, and these can be customized right here on the Strategies tab, where you define, you know, what do you want it to show there? Do you want to put an order for $5,000 worth of the stock at the market, or 500 shares at the limit price at the last price, or the last price with a delta, maybe plus or minus a few pennies? But what's really nice, in addition to being able to do all this cool stuff through the right click and get an order out there real quick, I haven't gone through this yet. This is really the first iteration of a kind of a modified trading strategy screen here, but it's got the same information as it did before, just a little bit nicer way of entering it in. But your trade instructions, you can manage. So not only you're buying the stock with, but what kind of stop do you want to have on there? What you can have a custom stop that you create a custom formula for. You can use one of our algorithms like a smart stop, or you can just put in a particular, you know, penny value here. So all of that would go out to the market with your order just through a single right click, you know, enter into that position. So making it super easy to facilitate the trade, but even more so once you're in that position, the ability to manage it and manage it here from Brokerage Plus, particularly the position tab here, where you can really filter it. You can filter between your paper trading, your live account, different strategies, your long and your short, open and close, and really get sophisticated. So you can have your main window here, and then you could add either new tabs to it with different views, or you can even add some additional, you know, free floating windows. So if like you want to get your orders panel, grab that and maybe move it over to your other monitor, you can do that too. So you can take it and keep it pretty simple on a laptop view or a single, you know, small monitor view, or you can spread out and, you know, let it work with the rest of your trading tools.
And it is really designed kind of ahead of its time to be able to facilitate actively getting into a position. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're experimenting with having access to zero commissions, let's say you want to get up to a certain number. So you can, as Brad said, you can even start with potentially, Brad, $100, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You could start with 10 shares, $100, any way that you wanted to approach it.
It's like you put it, and that way you can almost relate, okay, $100 here, I'm going to get $100 here, $100 there, and it'll do all the proper share sizing for you. It's there to be smart and to help you.
Here's another thing, Dan, that you know, you were talking about smart and easy. The ability, you know, after your position is already established, the ability to manipulate it and to do right sensitive menus. So it's very in the windows and what window you're on. And if you just right click on one of your positions, you can add a stop order if there's not one in there. Really simple, just put in your price. Or you could modify it if there's already one, set a time stop, say get you out at the end of the market. If these certain criteria don't take place, just get you out. Your target order, you know, profit target. So you can do these really nice, you know, this nice ability to manipulate your portfolio and positions through this. If you want to double a couple things, the market starts to rip and you sort this on the stocks that happen to be doing the best today, and you grab those and then you hit the double button. Well, those three positions, this one ZTS won't do anything because it's zero right now, but these guys will double. So you can do that. You can exit out of the lot. You could limit out of it, and you know, get out of them with a limit order with a limit delta if you'd like. Try to anyway. There's no guarantee on a limit out that you're going to get executed. But if you just wanted to bail and flatten, if you wanted to get rid of the whole portfolio, the Fed just had an announcement and everything you're in is going the wrong way. Just hit the flatten button and you're out of it, and you don't need to worry about it.
Well, Brad, can I tell you, like, the beauty is that through the simulated trading environment, the users of Trade Ideas will get to really experience the drive. You know, it's like going to Bondurant, how you and Today Trader, one of our good friends on Twitter, you guys went to an actual camp to learn how to properly drive the car, right?
That's right. I mean, yeah, I'm not embarrassed to admit it. Obviously, I knew how to drive before that, but boy, it sure takes you to another level.
So I look at this less complicated, certainly, and Brad has a lot of positions, but the idea is that imagine you're at Bondurant even, right? But there's no real consequence for your mistakes other than you know that you made one. Okay, in Bondurant, you can't really crash your Porsche into the, you know, into the thing. They will prevent that from happening. Here, you can go through the motions and the emotions of what it feels like to not win, because ultimately you'll have to do that in the real world. And if you can do that in the real world, you succeed at a level that it's almost hard to fathom. So through our simulated trading environment, we're bringing this to you, and by being able to gamify. So imagine this, you'll have environments where you have a portfolio weekly challenge where it starts on Monday. People come up with their portfolios. They can, they can day trade them around, do whatever you want. And ultimately it's a week worth of trading with some rules in there to make sure people don't cheat. And at the end of the week, you win $500, the winner. The beauty here, Brad, remember we talked about this, the ability to play, especially for our premium subscribers who are subscribers to TradeIdeas Premium, is it's there all the time. They can always play. And it's completely free to them. So again, it's not always about just simply trying to make money. It's about really building the proper incentive.
Sure, you know, understanding how exposure and how that affects you, and you know, with the position sizes that you have and your portfolio account size that you have.
Well, we want to create, Brad, through this whole direction. What we're trying to do is create the proper environment for you to really learn. We've always said that in TradeIdeas, the education is embedded inside the software. But we're really taking it to another level, because now the education is the action that you would take in the market. You're doing reps. You're learning how to manage positions. You're learning how to manage your risk. You're learning how to manage your feelings in an environment that is specifically suited for this, because it's made, again, by traders for traders. Everybody tries to say that, but you can see here that it's a different experience. We've taken it to another level because you're getting the play-by-play assistance of an AI. And here, through simulated trading, as Brad would say, and Brad would tell you also, you can then practice this kind of man and machine. Remember in our presentation, Brad, where you need man and machine together to really form the ultimate experience, because the man adds the feeling, the senses, the machine is the execution. Well, here it's that perfect combination, okay? You've got the man and machine working together, where now you can try, say, okay, I'm gonna create a strategy and TradeIdeas and launch it in paper trading and really see what it feels like, Brad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you could do. You can go into here and you could create a strategy. You could use our odds maker back test to optimize it and to make it as best as it can be. You drop it in here, it'll automatically execute. You can see how it would perform in a forward testing environment through your paper trading. You can also, if you're a subscriber to the Holly AI alerts here through Brokerage Plus, you can then take these guys and not only automate them, but see how they'll affect it in your paper portfolio as well. So yeah, it's a nice integrated environment that brings in a lot of different components of TradeIdeas, kind of really ties them all together.
Because it is really all about the trade. And one of the things, and I want to just reiterate this again, Brad, because it's such a critical component here. Our Brokerage Plus is identical whether you're using it in paper trading mode or whether you're using it in real money mode with interactive brokerage, and it will be that way with any API partner. The idea is that we're training you how to use the system in simulated trading mode, and this is the same system you're going to use in live mode. It's going to be giving you that tactile feedback. It's going to be helping to focus your attention. And again, we're putting lots and lots and lots of stuff into that specifically right now. One of the things here, Brad, let's really quickly point everyone to our AI P&L summary, where we've changed the names from the risk disclosures to more of like how the strategy is supposed to behave. So there's a conservative, which is what used to be risk off, meaning that conservative is trying to make sure that you get money out of it, but really prevent the losses. Again, being the most
It incorporates a couple things. It incorporates our timed exit. It incorporates some of algorithms that we have to get out, like our profit save and reduce risk. So Putting some protective measures in there.
it's the most risk averse. And sometimes being risk averse pays off. So the middle one, mod, is moderate. That's again more of the risk on environment. That's the name used to what it used to be called. And then aggressive, which is also has the same monikers as you would see on the ski mountain, the blue, the green, and the black diamond. Aggressive is what used to be called full risk, and that's where you're just in it to win it. But again, you were able to see which side is paying off the most, and we're putting it together in terms that you understand, that it's aggressive mode or conservative mode, etc. So we're
and it's not black and white in that just because your portfolio is saying this is an aggressive mode, things are paying dividends if you're holding on to your positions longer, that doesn't mean that you just abolish all of your rules. It's just kind of letting you know what the market's doing. Is there follow through? Is there bounce back? Are stops getting hit and then reversed? And so there's information that's being conveyed by that. But that doesn't mean that just because we're in conservative mode that you basically get out of all your positions at the earliest stage possible. There's still a little bit of diligence. It's just an information stream.
Well, remember, Brad, what I've mentioned before. What we have here is education built inside the software. So different risk management approaches, whether it's conservative, whether it's moderate or aggressive, they can all work at times. It's up to you to see how those things play out and what you can interact with. So you sort of, in golf, they say, Brad, play within yourself. You know, you're learning about yourself. What feels comfortable for you?
Yeah, it means you can't hit a home run every time.
Right. And in trading, that is one of the lures, you know, with the gurus and everything else. You start wanting to go for the home runs and wanting to become a professional trader right away without ever understanding that doctors spend, you know, 4 years in medical school and then another 4 to 7 years in residency just to be able to perform that act that they know pays off. Trading is a precision art form because it combines the financial hooks of money, which has so many positive and negatives in our society, that it gets you at the emotional strings, right, Brad? It's not, that's why what makes it challenging. To underestimate that challenge is to be a fool. And what we have done is we have simply created an environment that lets you safely experiment. It's like a pool right in the ocean that has the protection against the sharks. You get to feel the cold water, you get to feel the waves, everything, but you're not going to get eaten. And that's the key for us, because you should be able to, Brad, I mean, you and I have discussed this at length, you should be able to devote a year or two to working through a paper trading type of, and by paper I mean simulated environment, to learn the skill. It's like going to the gym for your other business, or being at the driving range, or again, in terms of medical school, it's like working on a cadaver. You have to do it to get better. It's the reps. And these reps are now included in trade ideas. Because again, the paper trading, Brad, it's available to who? Both premium and standard subscribers.
Yeah, everybody.
Because we know how important it is. It is the key critical factor, okay? So all of our resources have been really focusing on this. Brad, do me a favor, click on the channel, because again, remember, we're here to trade ideas and chill, and we've been running so much into this beautiful stuff and philosophy that I want to make sure we communicate some of the new things that we've put in. Let's take a look.
Hold the thought 1 second, because I did want to address NEO because it's new, and I've had some questions about that.
Talk to it.
So I just kind of wanted to, you know, it behaves a little different than the rest of the AI segments that we have, and there's a long-term plan that we have for the different segments. So we have Holy Grail, our original AI, is going to be analyzing these 50+ different strategies that we've created, both long and short, and it does that optimization routine every day. Right now, that's embedded in both Holly AI and Holly 2.0, but we've done something different with Holly Neo. We've taken this and we've created a different AI routine. The AI routine is looking at these 4 strategies. These 4 strategies every day are going to make the cut. Every one of these is going to make the cut. They're going to get optimized until the statistics are such that they're worthy of being presented to you the next day. But there's something unique that's happening with these strategies. They're looking at our relative volume characteristic and ensuring that every stock that comes through here is really doing something extraordinary for the day, both in a price consideration as well as a volume action. And so it's a pretty interesting segment to watch. If you watch this in the morning, it's going to be, that's when the ideas are initiated. They're initiated, I think, 5 minutes after the market open is when they start coming through. I can kind of look here at the time, but and then they stop, you know, after an hour or two. And the first segment, which is looking for the breakout longs and the breakdown shorts, that's the very beginning of the market. And then as time goes through the day, the later part of the morning is going to be looking for those pullback opportunities, both in long and short. So a little bit different, using the AI to optimize these strategies and using some very specific filters that are unique to trade ideas in creating these optimized strategies as well. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. We can talk more about the AI as we come back to it, but let's go ahead through some of those channels, Dan.
Well, let's start with the one look. We guys, I can't even speak English. We all know what we want to do, so we built a channel for it, the account builder. Let me tell you who this is aimed at. Okay. Now, of course, please understand that we do all understand that we all want to build our accounts, obviously. But there are different strategies for it. Somebody with $500,000 is going to trade differently than somebody with $10,000 or $20,000. So this strategy is kind of aimed at the slightly smaller accounts, which we know there's so many of. Okay, it is filtered, Brad, as you and I worked on this together, for a particular type of stock, which is again a combination of price and unusual behavior, meaning through some relative volume surge, which makes it compelling, maybe through earnings or whatever. And the idea is that these stocks are going to be moving the kind of percentages, like let Brad back up for 1 second, the D whatever one. I mean, it's kind of the same speech. But yeah, diversified restaurant holdings, sauce. Okay, remember I said everything about Bitcoin and everything else? I mean, and it was a different stock. It was up $79. This one's up 100%. It's a dollar stock. There's nothing wrong with trading these. I mean, don't get any of that bullshit into your mind about penny stocks. I mean, it's all about percentages.
This is a little bit of a unique situation because unless you were holding it, you didn't have an opportunity.
Totally. They probably don't.
We find the ones that give you the opportunity to participate for the most part.
Yeah, no question. I'm just saying, look at the percentage. There's plenty of people who own sauce who play some of these games on the swing trading side. And again, it's not easy because you can see what it does. But
yeah, look how they make you the emotion in this down move right here, right? Nobody's feeling good about their position.
The move happens, okay? So this specific channel called account builder rather, is just looking at these stocks that are pivoting, they're poised, they have like the psychological makeup of the ones where if they can get a tailwind behind them, they run crazy, okay? And LASR, by the way, laser, that's the nightlight, right, Brad? Semiconductor guys, not the nightlight.
Not the nightlight.
Right. But my point is here you can again kind of see how the software hunts this a lot. It's trying to find this kind of unusual behavior, and it actually nailed that bottom on 9.3 perfectly. But that is why we also have risk measures. It's not about really winning all the time because that is impossible. It's about how to exit when the position goes against you, which is built into this system. Okay. By just watching and interacting with it, you're going to teach your brain the proper mechanics, the proper reps to do better and better in the market, because you're not going to be holding on losers, hoping, which is ultimately, Brad, you know that that's really the thing that ends up getting you whatever it is, whoever you are, when you're holding on and hoping, you're holding on and hoping.
Well, and aside from it being probably a very poor choice to do, there's opportunity cost in doing that as well. And well, it's just not such a good thing to do.
Right. So Brian asked a great question, Brad, that I want to jump on real quick. He said, if the guys have a chance, I'd appreciate a few words on plans for swing trading. So one of the really cool things that we're doing right now, which kind of goes in with the other question, right, about the AI, the fact that Alineo is totally different, et cetera. We're bringing about a full swing trading AI. Okay, it's being worked on right now in the labs. Probably, I mean, I don't want to put a date on it because again, there's a lot of like statistical stuff that you want to clean up because we want it to be good. But that's in the works. It is happening. Let me tell you what else is happening. Single stock trading systems. I think I've mentioned this, Brad, at the last, and then we talked about this a little bit at our conference. So we're going to set up so that you can pull up any stock and have the AI start trading it for you with the proper rule set. Okay. And you'll be able to, for example, tell it like, hey, get me in at once, or maybe split it over 3 entries where you kind of randomize the time. That's what institutions do, Brad. You know, if they find something they like, they know like, well, I can't guess perfectly. I'm going to split it up here, here, and here. But we've got some good data points to know like some of the times to do that the best. And so we're going to be creating an ability for you to trade any stocks you like, Intel, Amazon, Tesla, the smaller stocks. Pull it up and you will be able to trade it. Brad,
Yeah, I just wanted to do something here. It's the wrong search term here, but I wanted to answer Jeff's question here on the candlestick setups. And without getting too specific, if you open up an alert window, you can and go to the search tab, you can peruse through the different alert triggers that we have, event triggers that we have. And so if I scroll down a little bit more, you're going to see some different candle pattern setups. I think that was your specific question. So you've got SMAs, MACD, stochastics. And now down at the bottom, you have our candle setups like doji, hammer, hanging man, engulfing, piercing pattern, bottoming tails. And that's not all. You can do some other things too. And you can also use the filters to shape that kind of picture of what you want to see. So, you know, they're there. Not every single type of candle setup is there, but a good number of them are.
Brad, I want to touch upon a couple of Steve Miller's questions. First of all, Steve, you're a terrific artist, and don't stop singing. Take the money and run. Had to do it. Sorry. Well, Steve, it's good. So on the conservative profit of 13.76%, no, that's not year to date. What we do there is actually, it's more, and again, it's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. We have no control over possibly knowing what kind of money you use to enter any position. We just couldn't possibly know. You know, and different times require different things. Like sometimes you may want to see that it's $2,500 or $2,000 or whatever you can afford dollar-wise. Sometimes it's share-wise. Sometimes it's risk per position-wise. But the point I'm making is that what we do here is we're simply taking the percentage of each game, the price percentage, and we're taking them cumulative. So obviously the good ones are good, but at the bottom, you see it all sort of averages out. The bad ones are bad. But this is a summation of all the percent won or lost in the calls. Brad, is that?
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Right. It is not a model portfolio. Now, we probably, Brad, will be able to do and add some kind of account simulation, because I think that would be good for people to see what that would be like, etc. When we kind of fully start to integrate more brokerage plus into the AI. It's just not there yet, but it's heading there, because again, I think, Brad, that will sort of bleed into eventually the paper trading and the gamification.
Yep.
So we're
Just
very
the entries and the exits. Well, they're both manual and automatic. It's really your choice of how you want to approach it. But you can use this to see a signal in trade ideas, click on a link, have it update your brokerage platform, send a trade. You could see a signal in trade ideas, right click, send your trade. Or like I said, in Brokerage Plus, you could bring your strategy in here, drop it in, or use the AI and turn it on. Like with the AI, for instance, you basically just tell it, how do you want it to trade for you? What do you want it to do? Do you want it to be conservative, moderate, or best of either one of those based on a time perspective? How do you want to size it? Do you want to do it with a fixed dollar, fixed share, or based on a stop loss, and put that in? So once you put these instructions in, market or limit, then you can turn it on and it'll go to work for you. And once you've got them on, you can then decide you want to also participate in the reentries. So maybe something gets stopped out and then it reapproaches the original entry price. It'll go ahead and re-enter you in if you've got that selected. So it can do both. It's a gray box or black box.
And Brad, again, we're continuing to work to make it better and better. Like right now, you can only re-enter once, but soon they'll have the choices to re-enter again, and that once again will also potentially touch upon some of the functionality of the single stop trading system. So many amazing things are happening, at Trade Ideas as we really kind of get you more of not just the idea, but the full action and the game plan, where you get the education completely inside the software. You get the play-by-play. You get the smart stop that's visual. You'll be able to soon from every chart, like Brad, go to a chart real quick and right click, and so people can know. You can also trade from the charts.
Yep, okay. You can set price alerts from the chart. This is where you can be alerted to if something crosses.
And very soon, these price alerts, Brad, will be linked to what?
They'll be linked to your mobile device, your phone, your email. Well, right now you can't get it through email. You can get other notifications, but you'll be able to get it through email. You'll be able to get it through your phone. It'll just be a much more comprehensive alerting mechanism.
But also, you can set that price to enter in paper trading mode.
Yep.
So Kelly, tons of different ways to do orders. Remember that our whole system is one triggers others, because when you create filters and you set up your entries through that, it's basically a strategy, right? So we have a whole strategy builder that automates that whole process. But it's not done like through orders, it's event driven. So like, for example, it's the same thing, but we speak a different language. So if you enter, let's say, at a daily high, you might exit if it breaks the daily low. Do you see what I'm saying?
So here's how you would put in a limit order, right? So you can, select your symbol. It'll populate here in your order entry panel, and you can just select your price, send your order. That's one way to do it. If you're putting in for the right-click perspective, you would just come over to your strategies section. If I'm buying it at last price, I would edit it here, and I need to go through this a little closer here. But this is where you would go ahead and define. You want to put in a limit order. This is my limit, and if you want to put in a limit offset, be aggressive.
So guys, Brad, while you're doing this, I want to answer Steve Miller's question about is there too much going on? How do you stop being overwhelmed? So right now on this demonstration, we're just showing you a lot of things. But Brad, if you remove like the Brokerage Plus stuff, because again, we're just doing this. This is a demo of our things. Here you have a channel bar, okay? And the channel bar gives you lots of different channels, which you can also customize to be able to see all sorts of different information. Right now, like as Brad, move it up real quick, Brad, so you can see what's on. Okay, so notice whatever channel is there, this is why you're here to Trade Ideas and Chill, has an on button. So you're on the account builder, the one where we think these stocks are going to be moving in large percentages, but they're smaller, so you can, if you have a smaller account, you can work to build the account. Let's take a look at a ready to run. So again, these have different components into it, different price settings, more higher price stocks, but at the same time,
see, I think a good way to explain it, Steve, this is not only is it a good way for you to be able to get great value initially out of the software, but it's also an educational piece here where you can see, okay, what did these guys do to create this window here? Why am I getting these types of symbols? And you can right click onto it and you can select configure and just see, hit the summary and see exactly what we're looking for in this window. And if you're so inclined at some point, you want to change this and make it your own price, you know, constraints and size that you trade, you can do that and create your own channel, customize it yourself, and save it to your own channel bar. So eventually you can create your own custom channels here, but just start off with what we have and see how we did it.
Yeah, Kelly, I'm assuming you're not a customer, so you probably should participate in what we're going to be talking about soon, which is our test drive that's coming up, or feel free to subscribe. But the bottom line is that we have all those data points, we just don't do it that way. Okay, perfect. So during the test drive, you're going to see some of that stuff in action, okay? How you can say, okay, so I am in these positions, alert me when each position does this. Or if you're, again, automating a strategy, because remember, of course, you can buy more if it goes up, but what happens if it goes down? You already automatically have to have a stop loss put in. That's all being done for you already. You can put in a profit target, which is basically, again, more on the conservative side of the equation, but you can conceptually see it's the same thing. And you can do it visually.
So that's just a trading preference, right? I mean, you could leg into anything that you want. You can start off with your small size of your 100 shares just to get your footprint in there to see exactly what's happening. And I like doing that because it brings it to your attention and you can watch your P&L over that. And when something starts to move, you're then alerted in that fashion. Whatever works, really.
Right. No, 100%. And again, the channel bar simply, like Brad, minimize brokerage plus real quick. The reason we have the channel bar, guys, is it gives you a really easy way to kind of check out lots of scenarios. Like go to the explosive winners, Brad. And you're never going to miss anything if you just have this open. All the big ones are there. And you can see you can work with the columns to get different views. You can sort by each one of them. You can interact with the software, although you don't have to. And what's really cool here, Brad, is that here's where you can really kind of see the benefit of idea surfing, right? And that's our completely what I would call perusal assisted mode. And by that I mean is that, as you can see, Brad's mouse is not on the screen, but it's showing you information. And Brad, at any one of them, put your mouse on the chart.
So notice right here it changes, right? It's letting you know that it's paused because it thinks you want to do something with that. You want to look at it. You want to maybe do some study or something.
So yeah, Jim, we'll get to your question kind of at the end. Brad will do one demonstration of it. But my point is that we've created kind of the Netflix view for you of the market, and we believe we're the only ones that do this, okay, where you can, again, without diving in, all this stuff is done for you already. It's configured, and also you can see the more information without doing anything. By leaving it alone, Brad, if you unpause the idea surfing by removing your mouse or clicking, okay, the software just continues to bring something to you that should then spark your attention. That's how it works. So it is freestyle, teaching you more. You're going to see more reps because the sorts happen by themselves, right? So different stocks will come up. It's never going to be the same thing. It's like feeding your brain very interesting setups. Nobody else does this because they just don't care, Brad.
So just a quick illustration, we talked a lot about these great windows and bringing this data to you. This top list window on the left, this multi-strategy window on the right, two different types of ways to bring you data. This is going to be giving you an updated list of stocks based on different sort and rankings. This right here is kind of a derivative of our alert window, but inside I've got a variety of different strategies that are turned on. And so this here is an event-based type of window, a notification window, an alert type of window. And so just kind of know these are different ways to get this data, ingest it, and use it to your advantage.
And again, if you see the way we customize the colors and everything's designed to get you to the critical point fastest, and you don't really have to do a lot. So it's all done for you. That's the part about the overwhelming. It's just like a cooler 4HD TV. A lot of people are used to the CRT bubble screens. This is your market on high definition. Brad, now can we answer the question about how to test?
Yeah, how to, what is that an odds maker question, or is that more of an alert question?
What do we use to set up alerts to make real strategies?
You bet. So in an event, we can only do this in an event-based window. That would be an alert window. So if you open up an alert window and create your strategy, we can create something here. We can hypothesize about something that we want to do here. Let me start from scratch, and let's just kind of build something together. Let's build it simple. Let's just start with a new high event. That's going to be something that's breaking out. Let's add in some filters to it. So let's just go to our filters tab and put in some filters that we want. We only want to look for stocks between, say, $10 and $50. We want to put in an average volume. So let's go ahead and add the defaults here. And with that, average volume today is there. So let's say a minimum of 250,000 shares a day is traded. I want to do this. I want to make sure that the stock is above the 200-day SMA. So I'll type in 200, and so we're going to go to the change from the 200-day SMA. I'll click on it, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that filter. Every filter and alert is available in the search tab, so if you don't see it on the alert or filter tab, you can just add it from the search. So here we're at the change from the 200-day SMA. I just want it to be above it. So it just needs to be a minimum above it of 0.01%. So that'll satisfy that need. Let's say it has to have recent earnings. So let's say within the last 10 days and 10 days ahead of us. And let's just give that a shot. And let's test it. Let's test the hypothesis here and see how it would work. This is going to be a new high above 200-day SMA with earnings near. Okay, so now we built the alert window. We can do a couple things. We can go back and we can take a look at history, and we can look at it for today and see the symbols. Had we been looking at this thing in real time, what symbols would have come through? And sure, it looked like a ton of them. So a lot of duplicates in there. But now that we've got the window, it looks like there's data. Let's go ahead and run a test and see how that would perform. So let's back test it. So we'll run the back test. This brings up our odds maker configuration window. The odds maker is an event-based backtesting tool, a little bit different than regular backtesting where you take a symbol like Apple and see how you could, manipulate or exploit that stock over a 10-year period and how you could best trade it. Well, this is a little bit different. This is creating a strategy and seeing how to best trade that strategy. This is where you put in the instructions. When do you possibly want to trade it? And you can just start off with any number of different hypothesis here. Let's just make our window a little bit smaller. How long are we going to hold the position for? We're doing a back test, so we have to put in an assumption here. It can be for multiple days, but in this case, let's do it to the end of the day, 15 minutes before the end of the day. West Coast, we end at 1 o'clock, so 12:45, that would work. I could put in a profit target and a stop. I'm not going to do it now. And I can tell it how many days to run. 65 trading days. That's a whole quarter's worth of data. So this is about a month and a half, 30 trading days. So let's go ahead and buy it and see how it would perform. So not a lot of secret sauce went into that strategy. So I wouldn't suspect that it would be incredible or even great. But let's look at what we have here. And so we've got a profit factor. That's the sum total of all your winning trades over losing trades. A 1 would be the same, right? So this is a little better than that. A lot of trades, there's no way I'd be able to implement all of those trades in one day, but I'm looking for statistics here. And average winner to loser, a little better winner than loser, but I'd like to see better statistics than that in a real strategy. Then, of course, it gives you the return. Commissions are eating me away here. Maybe I'm lucky enough to have 0 commission and not have to deal with that. I could also hypothesize slippage. Maybe I'm not getting the exact price, you know, that this comes out at. Maybe I get this alert and I end up having to pay 2 extra pennies for it. So we can dial that in right here by changing this to 2 pennies and seeing how that would affect the overall profitability. Well, that 2 pennies turns me negative. It's not a good strategy to trade, but it allows me to slice and dice it. I've got a calendar heat map right here where I could drill into any one of the days and take a look at, you know, what trades took place on that day. Awful lot of trades, but you know, what was the profit? What was your entry price, exit? How many shares did you trade to accomplish what our trading instructions were set out to do, and what was your P&L on that? Bigger version of the calendar heat map is here, but on that summary tab, I've got this equity curve, so it gives me that real-time kind of flavor of how the equity was either built or lost in the account. Gives you kind of a daily breakdown on that, a drawdown. If you were to implement that strategy, what's your drawdown going to be expected to be? How much buying power is required to implement this particular strategy? So you've got all that for the back test, but you've got this optimization tab right here. And this is where you can use the back testing tool to take that strategy that you started with and refine it and make it better. And this is really the technique. I mean, the AI doesn't use the odds maker per se, but it uses the technique and the mathematics behind it to optimize all of our strategies every day. And so what it does, it looks at things like, well, it doesn't look at price. We've told it not to look at price, and we told it not to look at time of day. But if we did, it would look at this and say, man, you should be trading this thing or initiating your positions be done by 8 o'clock, because everything that's happening after 8 o'clock is causing me to lose money. And so that's the type of analysis. Yeah.
Again, I think
too much
overcomplicated for the audience, but I'm saying is that that's the level of detail you can go into. But this is all done automated for you. Brad, do me a favor.
Yes.
Let's finish off the software on a simple example of post-market action. Again, a channel that's designed for you to see what's going on in the after hours. Again, another simple way. We have the morning sun brings the heat. That's the pre-market. And here you have this one. Brad, click on MCF, which is up 27% in the pre-market. Go on the chart real quick.
You mean in the post-market?
Yeah, sorry, post-market. So there's is paused. This final finish exemplifies, again, the best of what we do and what we are set up to do. Can we be used in swing trading? Yes. Look at what happened on the daily chart. Okay, we have been watching this. As we say, we try to find these turnarounds, and this is what we're doing. This is what we're better at than anybody else. We caught it once, we caught it twice, and look at where it is right now. Okay, if you think about it percentage terms and put it back to what you know about what percentages are in the markets and what they tell you is good or bad, this stuff is kind of unheard of. Okay, Brad, let's pull up the PowerPoint and finish up, because again, we've gone through way long.
Yes, I'm back. Bada boom. Oh, wrong one.
Trader dual, gamified stock market. Let's go way to the bottom, right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our test drive, which we're extending for 2 weeks, this time around only, because we're bringing out the paper trading, so that the simulated trading, so you can test it out, really interact with it, get yourself fully dialed in. If you're not signed up yet, you really should. trade-ideas.com/test drive. It's only $8.99. Next slide, sir. This is how much our software costs. It is a very cheap product, or rather inexpensive product, for the type of technology and power that we bring to the average investor. We do give you the institutional power, the server-side processing of all the statistical data. It's like having your own card counter there. If you're interested, and you should be, please look at our promo code today, Harvest Wins in all caps. Gives you 15% off the first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. And again, think about how much it is per day. It's less expensive than your lunch and the most amazing software. We have lots of information for you to get started, and one of them is Barry's Trading Room. Barry is our lead moderator of the Trade Ideas Trading Room, and Brad, we need to get that graphic fixed, of course. But you will be able to participate in that during the test drive, and we hope you do, and we might even have some other options for you as well. Next slide. We do our Trade Ideas Friday podcast, myself and my good friend Jamie Hodge, and we break a lot of this news, some of the stuff that we already been talking about, Brad, on that podcast. So it's a great way to hear about it first and know ahead of time which way things are going to go and what to expect. We are very easy to get a hold of, especially on the next slide. Oh no, Brad, you're so detail oriented. I forgot that, again, lots of information to help you get started. trade-ideas.com/setup, free ebooks on different ways to approach kind of the standard things you need to learn in the market. For active investing, passive, how do you get into some of the technical aspects of it, and what do you need to be able to hold on to a position, how to manage the risk. All this information is free for you if you are interested. And of course, as I said before, we're very easy to get a hold of, active on social media. Please like us on Facebook, and we have lots of handles on Twitter, all of those, and you'll be able to see them when you get the email with the video presentation. And of course, there's a number and an email that you can always reach us. Scott, I think we're way overdone, but done for the presentation.
Yeah, sounds good. Everyone can keep an eye out for the replay video link tomorrow. And if you have any questions, shoot us an email, info@TradeIdeas. Thanks all.